Board and Public Works and Safety meeting for June 12th, 2025 is now in session. First on the agenda is approval of minutes from June 5th, 2025.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from June 5th, 2025 as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next are claims for payment in the amount of $312,847.36.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims for payment as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next are payroll claims for payment in the amount of $979,201.65.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the payroll claims for payment as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next are requests. We have some street closures. As you approach the podium, please state your name and title.
My name is Sergeant Julia Ridgway with the Richmond Police Department. First closure is going to be the storm sewer project. This is going to be by B&B Construction. This is going to be June 30th to July 3rd on North J Street from North 20th to North 24th Street. I have no objections to this.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the storm sewer project street closure as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the annual Customer Appreciation Day street closure.
This is going to be August 23rd from approximately 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. They're requesting the closure under the underpass down to North 8th Street. I have no objections to this.
I'll move to approve the annual Customer Appreciation Day as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the annual Customer Appreciation Day street closure as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is our new handicap signs.
I have an approval for 716 South 13th Street, and then I have a denial for 121 North 15th Street due to an area behind the residence off the alley that could be used for parking.
I will make a motion to approve the new handicap sign for 716 South 13th Street.
That's South 13th Street.
Oh.
Yeah.
So 716.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the handicap sign for 716 South 13th Street as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And I'd move to deny 121 North 15th Street due to parking available.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to deny the new handicap sign at 121 North 15th Street as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next are handicap signs renewals. Looks like 111 South 5th Street, 53 Northwest 8th Street, 1112 Ridge Street, 110 Randolph Street, 426 Lincoln Street, 327 North 18th Street, and 259 Northwest 2nd Street.
I'll move to approve the handicap sign renewals.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the handicap sign renewals as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I do have one more road closure that it's not with the city and it doesn't involve city streets specifically, but I at least want to make everyone aware of it. There's going to be a mill and pave schedule starting on Monday the 16th through the 27th. This is going to be on the Richmond State Hospital property. It will not go out into our roads for the city, but I at least want to make you aware of it.
Well, thank you for that advisement, Sergeant Ridgway.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are contracts. Contract number 77, 2025, Midwest Deferred Comp Specialist LLC.
Good evening, Sherry Hemingway, Payroll and Benefits Administrator. The Finance Department is requesting approval of contract number 77, 2025 with Midwest Deferred Comp Specialist LLC. This contract will provide the City of Richmond with education and guidance on administering our 457B Deferred Compensation Plan for employees. This contract is valid for 1 year at no cost to the city with options to renew annually at a cost to be determined.
When you talk about cost to be determined, do you have any idea of what you might be thinking cost-wise?
They're thinking, the quote that she said was around $1,000 per year. but that's only if we choose to renew it. So basically, we've got these deferred comp plans. They're going to come in and help me to market them a little bit better so that we get more of our employees participating in them, which is kind of like the national goal right now. So they're going to help us to do that and to understand more because we've just kind of been winging it. So they want to do it for free for the first year. If we feel like it's a beneficial service, then we can continue and discuss the price. But the price she was talking was around $1,000 a year, so it wasn't really that high.
So in the future, it's a not to exceed $1,000 with no auto rollover.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve contract number 77, 2025 to Midwest Deferred Comp Specialist LLC as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract number 92, 2025, Testing for Public Safety LLC, doing business as the Institute for Public Safety Personnel.
Sergeant Ridgway, Richmond Police Department. So this contract is a company that we utilize for all of our promotional testing. They provide the materials for the written and the oral interviews, and they also do the scoring. This helps develop a rank order for candidates using testing for both investigator and then all of the supervision, including sergeant, lieutenant, and captain. This is not to exceed $21,300.
How many of these tests would you do in a year?
So it's not necessarily how many we do in a year. We do them based on need. The list that we develop is good for 2 years.
So there's no payment if they don't do any testing?
Correct. If we don't utilize their services, to my understanding, there would not be a payment. If I need to get clarification on that, I can.
I was just curious if we only did 1 or 2 a year, what the cost might be if we did that. I guess I don't have any objections to it. I'm just curious as to, if we only did 1 a year, if we did 30 a year.
Yeah, let's ask the question a different way. How many units or tests are contained within that $21,000? Do you have an idea?
That I do not know. I don't have that answer.
Okay.
I can obtain that and get back with you next week if necessary.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to know the min and the max. Just, to board member Powell's point, is it going to be 21,000 if we only do 1? Is it going to be, 2,000? We don't know that answer, so if you could supply that, that'd be great. So we'll table 9225 until Sergeant Ridgway comes back with the information.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is contract number 97, 2025 to Ultimate Canine LLC.
So this one is for the purpose, we are retiring 2 of our canines due to health and age. Currently, we are looking to replace one of them as a dual-purpose narcotics and tracking canine. And then we would like to replace a second one in the fall. This is not to exceed $29,435. And this is just for the single unit.
The memo notes that this is funded entirely through donations.
Yes.
Would we expect the same for the additional dog in the fall?
I would have to ask.
We change it from unit to future officer.
The canine officer, yes.
Yeah.
I would move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve contract number 97, 2025 to Ultimate Canine LLC as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is contract number 100, 2025, Seth Cook Probationary Firefighter Agreement.
Hello, good evening. Nick Arbogast, Deputy Chief of EMS, Richmond Fire Department. The Richmond Fire Department asked the Board of Public Works to approve the following contracts. These are individual contracts that are pre-employment agreements that each of our new hires are required to sign. So basically, it's that you have to obtain your paramedic certification within 5 years. We pay for all those associated costs, and if they voluntarily leave the city of Richmond, the employee agrees to reimburse. So we're not a stepping stone, and we actually can retain the employees for that time.
Member Purvis remembers this, us working hard on this one.
I I don't have any questions. I'd go ahead and move for approval for contracts number 100, 2025, 101, 2025, and 102, 2025.
We actually have to present them. Legal has advised us of such.
I'd move then for approval 100-2025.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve contract number 100, 2025, Seth Cook probationary firefighter agreement. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is contract number 101, 2025, Joshua Scott probationary firefighter contract agreement.
This would be the exact same thing. So 5 years reimbursed if they do leave the department.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve contract number 101, 2025, Joshua Scott probationary firefighter agreement. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is contract number 102, 2025, Daniel Tran probation firefighter agreement.
This would be the same thing. 5 years date of hire. Employee agrees to reimburse if move elsewhere.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve contract number 102, 2025, Daniel Tran probationary firefighter agreement. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is contract number 103, 2025, Matt Napote.
Good evening, Board of Works members.
Good evening.
You'll get to hear from me twice tonight on this and also WCTV. First one, though, contract 103, 2025. Matt Keller is our Director of Public Operations and Engineering, asked me to speak on this tonight. Wasn't able to be here. When I first became mayor, we did a parking study, and I found we had a lot of different off-street parking lots that nobody seemed to know we had, and this is one particular off-street parking lot that's used by a private business who's interested in purchasing it. So when we took it to the property committee a few weeks ago, they recommended, even though we've done some napkin math and came up with an estimated price, they recommended that we reach out and get a formal appraisal. Reaching out to get a formal appraisals, we found that there's less than a handful of commercial appraisers left in the area, and only one of them doesn't have a conflict of interest with some fashion of the city. So we have before us Matt Napote. We have in the past reached out commercial appraisers in other cities and got rough estimates of $10,000 just off the cuff to even come to Richmond. So we're here to ask approval for contract 103, 2025 for Matt Napote to appraise the city-owned parking lot at 725 South 6th Street. And do so, if you approve this tonight, he will do that before June 24th, 2025, and we can keep this ball rolling forward. This amount not to exceed $1,400.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve contract number 103, 2025, Matt Napote as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda are addendums. Addendum number 1 to contract number 80, 2025, NDOT IDS, DES number 2500308.
T.L. Bozell, Richmond Street Department. This is an addendum to contract number 80, 2025. This addendum is a change order to add Southwest 5th from West Main Street to National Road West to the current list of community crossings projects, not to exceed $37,981.85. Milestone Contractors LP will be doing the work.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve addendum number 1 to contract number 80, 2025. That's the NDOT design number 2500-308 as presented by T.L. Bozell. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And next on the agenda are resolutions. Resolutions number 5-2025, reconfirming the commitment to WCTV with cable franchise fees.
The mayor again. Thank you, board. You probably know some of the history, but I'll give you some more of a quick overview of the history of this. So in December 5th, 1991, the city of Richmond, through its Board of Works and Safety, entered into a cable franchise agreement with TCI of Indiana in connection with franchise and installation and operation of a cable television system within the city. If you want to know what a tariff is, this is a good example of a tax or a tariff. This is under Indiana tax code. So by any tax code, in order to be the only cable TV provider in a community, state legislators enabled this to happen. So they pay a fee to bury cables in our city-owned right-of-way and plant poles in our city-owned right-of-way, right-of-ways we have to maintain. They also pay a fee to Richmond Power and Light when they attach to their poles, but they pay that separately, not out of this, because it's wear and tear on their poles. So this is like wear and tear on our right-of-ways. But it gives them a right to be a monopoly organization. It was updated in 1997, not long after that, and then updated again in 2015. But every time it was, the company's name changed. It was updated to reflect the name of the, change in the name of the company operated the cable TV system. So last time this came to the Board of Works as a resolution, not a contract. That's why it's a resolution tonight. It was back in 2015 when the late Sally Hutton was mayor. They promised 40% of the revenue from the cable franchise fee to help WCTV in its operations. The county government gives some money to the WCTV. IU East gives some money. There's several groups that help support WCTV. As we all know, people are not using cable television as much as more as they has in the past. So every year, this amount that we receive from the cable television company drops about $5,000 a year. So the 40% that we've been giving them is not enough to sustain their operations with the other money other groups are giving them. Starting in 2024, last year, was the first time that the amount of money received from the cable TV company was less than what it costs us to maintain those right-of-ways too. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Knowing that WCTV was coming into some financial problems, Richmond Common Council on June 2nd voted to approve that instead of passing 40% of the cable franchise fee, we passed 65% of the cable franchise fee, but only for the rest 6 months of this year. And I believe Mr. Purcell will probably say something about that. So they have to come with a business plan to keep going forward to keep us doing this. So this is just for the rest of this calendar year. And Kim can explain probably better than I that because it was a resolution 10 years ago, it comes to use a resolution again tonight, not necessarily a contract. That just kind of coincides with the way the law is written, I guess.
Yes, when it happened in 15, the contract had already been in place, and so the mayor at the time had asked for a resolution or some kind of a formal indication that there would be a formal vote of the Board of Works, so that's what was done in 15.
So another quick comment. While I was president of council during COVID, as you may remember, we remodeled this entire facility. So we installed all new equipment. You may remember we had 3 cameras on tripods, which are trip hazards. We had low quality audio and video. So during COVID, we upgraded all the technology in here to high definition video, high definition audio. I think everybody will agree it sounds better, not just in here, but also when you play it back. And we also did it so that we could stream live. We used to have 2 or 3 representatives from WCTV in here to record and run our meetings. Now with 4 robot cameras above my head, one operator can run the point-to-zoom cameras and also be the videographer, recording the meeting, putting in the intro and the outro and all that stuff too, and it works very well and it streams very well. So just before this meeting met, you may have noticed that the Parks Board met in this chambers. So going forward, to comply with the new state laws, the chamber, or the Parks Board is one of the boards that's televised, so it will from now on meet in these chambers because it's easier on everybody and it's more efficient for government for them to stream their meetings from here than from another location and drag equipment back and forth. So going forward, all government meetings in the city of Richmond that are required to be televised, streamed, archived will come from this room. Thanks to the work we did back in 2020, we were really looking forward. We were trying to fix a problem at the present, but we really made a huge difference in the future, which is now, making all this stuff cool and possible. So again, the motion is to increase the amount of the pass-through from 40% to 65%, but just for the remainder of this calendar year, and they'll come back with their business plan and make sure everything's agreeable, and council will have another discussion. I don't know if Counselor wants to say anything. Okay. Yeah, so I encourage you to improve this. WCTV is a great asset in the community. I worked for the last 2 years, not just as mayor-elect, trying to find a better solution for their finances and other things. And they've done everything they can, sponsorships and all kinds of interesting things. They're trying a different approach to community television, and this will help buy them a little more time, I guess.
Thank you for that. I'd like to hear from the board members on this topic.
I would be most happy to talk about WCTV.
Please do.
For those you do not know, I am Ken Paust. I am a member of the Board of Works, and on January, I went back on WCTV's Board of Directors. 20 years ago, I was on their board in the earlier stages. And they came to me in January and explained that, hey, we've got a lot of problems. Our funding sources are drying up on us. Would you come back on the board and assist us? And I said, sure, I'd be happy to come back on the board. Little did I realize a month later I'd be president of WCTV. So I do want to announce tonight that I am on the board as well as currently president of WCTV board. I would like to thank the mayor and the city of Richmond for all the assistance that they've given us during this trying time. And as the mayor pointed out, the funding sources have been depleted considerably in the last few years. And this just didn't happen overnight. It's happened over a period of time on there. And WCTV is working extremely hard to do everything that they can. We have cut staff completely. Our running budget used to be about $450,000 a year. We're now budgeting about $255,000. We have funding for actually less than that. The city has been extremely good in funding us on a quarterly basis, and in one case even advancing funding to us that we needed to be able to keep our bills up to date. We certainly appreciate everything that they've done. You couldn't do any more, Mayor, unless you just gave us more money, of course. That would be okay. But we certainly do appreciate that. We're in the process now of doing a strategic plan, and immediately after that strategic plan session, we will be putting in place a new business plan. I know the city council asked for us to have that at the end of the year for them. If we can get everything done, I'm hoping that we can get the strategic planning done and maybe the business plan written so that you would have that as you go into budget sessions. Because if we come back to you in December with our business plan and it says we need more money, it's a little hard for you at that time since you're through your whole budget planning process to say, Ken, we've got all of our fundings allocated at this time. But there just might not be enough time between now and the time you start budget hearings, but we're going to work on that. We have an excellent board of directors. The city and county both are working with us to see what we can do. And I do commend the city of Richmond on what you did, what the mayor explained. When we redid the county, we didn't do this over my objections. And so now they've got a lot of problems being able to meet all the commands in where it's much simpler with the 4 cameras the way you've done this here. So Mayor, I thank you and I thank the city. I thank the city council for everything they've done to keep us in existence, because there's definitely a need for WCTV and the transparency they give. They film all of these meetings, and so the public can't say we don't know what's going on. It's on 11 or 20 or 21, either one of those channels for you to be able to know what's going on in the city. And I hear this all the time. Well, I don't know what the city's doing. And I say, well, do you go to channel? Well, I don't have time to look at it. You know, they're easy to complain, but they're not willing to sometimes step forward and do the effort that they need to be able to find out what's going on. So again, I do commend the city and the mayor for everything that you've done to assist us in these current ongoing financial times. And I will abstain from voting tonight on this. I know I could vote on it, but I think it'll look a little better if I don't vote at this time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your words, Mr. Paust. Dustin?
I would just say that I happily support this resolution based on the comments from Board Member Paust, Mayor Oler from council a couple weeks ago. And I'm happy to, unless you want to make some comments, I'd be happy to make a motion.
Well, let me have it, sure. This is one of those greater good moments. You and I and Mr. Paust, we were on another greater good moment. You know, it was Reed. We were at a different point in our lives, but we got the old Reed building down by working together. Mm-hmm. WCTV has been a partner since '91, and we need to support them in the period to give you the opportunity to find your revenue streams, and I fully support that. Looking forward, our our citizens are going to look at us and say, okay, if you don't get the funding, what's the next steps? I'm not asking you to give me that today. I don't think anybody's asking you to provide that today. But just understand that we're going to be asked, all of us, all the leadership in the area are going to be asked questions, because this is not 91 anymore, and there's technology out there that makes this far easier. So those are my only comments. Like I said, leaders, please do your due diligence for the greater good. Let's move forward. And with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 5-2025 to reconfirm the commitment to WCTV with cable franchise fees.
I will second the motion.
I was wondering for a minute, I thought maybe, okay.
I will second it, yes.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution number 5-2025, reconfirming the commitment to WCTV with cable franchise fees as presented by Mayor Oler. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any other things to discuss tonight? If not, we are adjourned. Thank you.
You are watching Whitewater Government